This is the Galaxy A26, a new budget-friendly phone from Samsung. So is this the right Samsung mid-ranger for you? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our Samsung Galaxy A26 review. Each year, Samsung's less expensive phones get better as more features trickle down from higher tier models. And that's just what we see on the Galaxy A26, which brings the chipset of last year's A35, plus some new refinements. These include a glass back instead of plastic, and not only that, it's extra durable Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the back and the front. The phone's frame is still plastic though. While the A26 is larger than last year, it's thinner and feels comfy in the hand. Samsung has also granted ingress protection to the Galaxy A26 with an IP67 rating against dust and water submersion. The A25 wasn't rated at all, so this is a welcome improvement. The display of the A26 is a 6.7-inch OLED, up from 6.5 inches last year. There's again a 1080p resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate. The refresh rate means that swiping and scrolling are quite smooth. Unlike on other phones though, the refresh rate isn't adaptive to save energy. It stays fixed at either 120Hz or 60. Another way in which the Galaxy A26 falls behind is when it comes to max brightness. We measured only up to around 370 nits with a manual slider, and this boosted to a maximum of about 780 nits in auto mode. It's for some reason considerably less than the previous model, and not quite enough for comfy use outdoors. There is no official support for HDR video playback here, but that's expected at this price point. And still, this display is plenty sharp and contrasty. When it comes to audio, Samsung has made a couple of interesting choices. They've done away with both the 3.5mm headphone jack and stereo speakers. Instead, the A26 has a single bottom firing speaker. It earned a score of good for loudness, but the sound quality isn't great. Music sounds dull and tinny, and with virtually no bass. You can check it out for yourself through the comparison tool linked below. At least they've kept the microSD slot for this generation. Besides expandable storage, you get the option for 128 or 256 gigs on board. On higher tier Samsung phones, you get an under-display fingerprint reader, but the A26 still uses a side-mounted one. It's quick and fairly reliable. All of the new Samsung phones are coming out with the latest One UI 7 on board, on top of Android 15. And while the A26 is no flagship, it actually comes with many of the same software features. What you don't get here are Samsung's DeX and the full suite of AI-based features, but there are still some on board. AI Select can analyze the screen's content in detail and gives you options to grab text or photos on screen, and even create GIFs from videos. The Object Eraser is available too in the native Gallery app, and it works okay, but not as good as on the flagships. And on top of that, you get plenty of AI functionality through Google's Gemini Assistant. If you'd like to find out more about One UI 7's specific features, you can check out our dedicated video. Samsung has really extended the software support for its new mid-rangers too. The Galaxy A26 will get 6 major OS updates and 6 years of security patches. The chipset of the Galaxy A26 is an Exynos 1380, at least in our global review unit. For some reason, a few countries get a version with an Exynos 1280, the same as in last year's model. At least the global model gets a bit of an upgrade. The Exynos 1380 was first used in the Galaxy A54 and then the Galaxy A35, trickling down through the generations. In benchmarks, this is no powerhouse, but it provides 5G connectivity and adequate performance for the price. Day-to-day tasks run decently well, and you can do some light gaming here too. As far as the thermals go, we actually saw more throttling than we expected considering the modest chipset, but it's nothing alarming. While the Galaxy A26 has a large 5000 mAh battery, the battery life leaves more to be desired. The phone earned an active use score of 10 hours and 44 minutes, which falls behind most other competitors these days. There's support for 25-watt charging here, but as typical for Samsung, there's no charger in the box. With a proper adapter, we were able to charge the phone from 0 to 51% in half an hour, and a full charge took 86 minutes, just the same as last year. Now onto the cameras. On the back, there's a main cam, an ultrawide, and a macro camera, just like the A25. Let's start off with the main camera. It can produce decent looking shots with nice colors. But outside of perfect lighting conditions, the sharpness and detail deteriorate fast, and you see some graininess in shadows. There were some focusing issues in the shots, and we even noticed focus hunting while shooting. And here's a look at some shots of people, taken in portrait mode. When zooming in digitally at 2 times, the results are considerably softer, noisier, and less detailed. In the dark, the Galaxy A26 prefers to use its automatic night mode processing. This brightens up shadows and reduces noise. Still, the phone generally takes soft photos, with errors in the colors and white balance. Photos from the ultrawide camera come out somewhat soft, but colors and contrast are decent. While the results aren't impressive, they're okay for the budget. Here's a look at ultrawide photos taken at night. Regardless of the automatic night mode, the photos come out grainy with not much fine detail. The colors are once again off, but not as much as on the main camera for some reason. The 2-megapixel macro cam can take some usable close-ups, but the detail is unimpressive, as you'd expect at this resolution. And selfies are taken with the 13-megapixel front-facing cam. These are actually very good. They're pretty colorful, detailed, and sharp. Even in more challenging lighting conditions, the photos come out pretty good. The Galaxy A26 can record videos in 4K with the main cam, but the ultrawide and selfie cameras are capped at 1080p. The main camera produces videos that seem soft for 4K resolution, and it tends to go for lower exposure. Colors, contrast, and dynamic range, on the other hand, seem to be on point. The ultrawide's 1080p video is rather soft and lacks fine detail, but dynamic range, colors, and contrast are good. Electronic stabilization does a decent job to smooth things out. Too bad it's only supported in 1080p resolution. And the nighttime footage from the main cam seems pretty good. There isn't too much noise, and sharpness is decent. So there you have it, guys. The Galaxy A26 brings a much more durable and premium build than last year, a larger screen, and new software features and longer software support. The selfies are good, and there's expandable storage. However, there have also been downgrades. The screen isn't as bright, and you lose the headphone jack and stereo speakers. Plus, you can find competitors with better battery life, charging speed, and chipset performance. There are plenty of solid options at this price, and because of that, the Galaxy A26 is tough to recommend. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're looking for alternatives, you can check out our reviews of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 14 Pro 5G and Samsung's own Galaxy A35. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one.